If I think back to earlier this year, just when we announced our results in May, we also introduced our new vision to the world, and we said that we're a purpose-based organization, and the purpose of Vodacom is connecting you, creating possibilities, and changing lives. And I think that's at the heart of the message that we want to deliver to you today. And underpinning that purpose and our vision, we communicated 5 strategic areas that we want to focus on. So as always, the customer is number one. We want to focus on our people in the company. And then an important one, we want to put the power of the internet into everybody's hands. It's an important one that we'll come back to. And then we want to make sure that the company is sustainable, focus on operational excellence. And then the last one, also very, very important, is to proactively partner with our stakeholders. And again, that is what today is all about.
We chose the area of education for a number of reasons. Firstly, it helps with skills development. It also is because we have a vested interest, because we believe that through education we will be having customers that are able to use our product. And it is also important that it is through education that we will get from these various communities future staff that will be working for Vodacom. When one starts to actually analyze the South African situation, if you look at the country's level of development, you can see that it seems to be ahead of what we produce in terms of the classroom. There's a lag that needs to be addressed there. It's got a vibrant telecom sector which can actually leapfrog all those developments so that there is actually a true match. You cannot justify a school in Rwanda to produce better scholars and better teaching than South Africa with all its resources and facilities. That's why we as the telecom sector thought we should be involved in the solution to this big issue. We understand that 6% of the GDP already goes to education. There tends to be a dropout rate as students go on through from beginning towards end of schooling. And some of the curriculum sometimes doesn't get finished in a year.
I think Vodacom has a wonderful opportunity here. The opportunity here is this. They have recognized, and as I've indicated, that irrespective of what you do differently and what you provide in terms of resources, if you don't have a teacher that is competent and proficient, you're not going to make a difference. And therefore, what you're doing in terms of these centers, which are hubs of development in the 9 provinces, is to create that possibility and reality of how teachers could be drawn into a place that is accessible to them, where they can in fact be developed and trained. And to that end, we certainly want to acknowledge and thank you for providing this opportunity to your 9 managers, as well as the 2 trainers in each one of the 9 provinces. We can assure you that that contribution is going to be immense. The problem is in the teaching methods, not in the ability and the capacity of those learners. So when you see a result of 30%, it's actually a distortion of the reality simply because the teacher was not taught how to teach correctly in that particular learning environment. And what ENA does, it says to us precisely where the problem is. And what we're going to then do is to say to you, how do we ensure, because to reach out to 27,000 schools at the same time, I mean, I can't possibly visit all the schools, nor can the minister and the entire cabinet. But if we have ICT, which gives us the ability to monitor because we can prompt responses, we'd be able to see precisely what it is, and we can check from where we sit in our offices, school by school, what they have done in terms of interventions, so that the school improvement plan involves a particular focus on literacy and numeracy. So the challenge of 2013 is really about saying, how do we change the lives, the well-being? How do we, through progressive means and possibilities, as you correctly pointed out, utilize these instruments, which basically have generated a lot of income for our company and corporate structures, to make a difference in the lives of those learners.
Smartphones is just amazingly changing the lives of everybody. And I'm predicting again that in the next 2-3 years, everybody will have a smartphone. The smartphone will be the entry-level phone. So why do I say it's possible? Today, a smartphone, we bring smartphones in for around $100. $100 for a full-color, touchscreen Android device. And the nice thing about a smartphone is you can load stuff onto there. The application that we developed for the principal is one example, but you can take it further. You can load special educational software on there. You just click on this. You can remotely load it onto these smartphones. So a $100 smartphone. Then I mentioned the Webbox should have. So this is what the Webbox looks like. It's just a keyboard. You stick a SIM card in it. It comes with 100 megabytes of data. It compresses the data heavily, so your internet experience is fast. It doesn't use a lot of data, so with 100 megabytes you can do a lot of surfing. And you just stick it into the TV. You don't need a PC, just a keyboard and a TV, and you connect it to the internet. But today we're also taking it one step further. I have another goodie here. This is called the web book. So last year we had the link book, but it wasn't good enough. It wasn't affordable enough. So now actually today, Vodafone developed this for developing countries, and we are the first in the Vodafone group today. I think it's today. So I'm announcing this now. This is the web book.
In terms of e-learning, by 2013, all our learners, irrespective of whether they're in the GT band, that is from grade 1 to grade 9, or the FET band from grade 10 to grade 12, would have an exposure to and access to and be proficient in ICT. So that certainly is our ambition, that is our aim.
We cannot do it alone. That's why it's so important to have partners like those that I've mentioned, particularly the Department of Basic Education, to have you as a partner. Because on our own, we cannot make this. Remember the strategic focus area, proactively partner with stakeholders? That's what it's all about.
Our involvement here is purely on our corporate social responsibility, where we're looking at how we can bring advanced IT skills development to underserved communities in South Africa.
I'm Vis Naidoo from Microsoft, and I think the key with respect to this event has been around the notions of partnerships and the structure of the partnership in such a way that with Vodacom, with CISCO, with BlackBerry, we were able to construct what is essential for the education system. And that, from a micro perspective, is an important part of what we do. We look to construct partnerships, we look to enable the system, the education system, to be built and to develop such that the learner or the student benefits most. And that for us is crucial. How do we structure partnerships? How do we enable the learner to benefit from that? And how do we make sure that the education system functions well?
The exciting element is the fact that it's so comprehensive. It doesn't only deal with connectivity, but it deals with teacher development, content knowledge, digitization, the curriculum itself.
The focus is on teacher development. We have chosen that because of the multiplier effect that it has, that empowering a teacher will have a long-lasting impact in the education system. The main thrust of the project is about how do we use ICTs as a teaching and an administrative tool.
The goal is very much in line with what the Minister mapped out, is essentially enabling all our learners from whatever part of the country they're in to have access to technology and have access to the internet. In this way, the development of their skills will become a primary factor, and in this way, building 21st century skills that enable them to function in the modern world becomes a key part.
The next thing that we've learned is you can't just give money and walk away. You have to make it sustainable. You have to make sure that when you come back 2 years later, that this thing gets a life of its own. So that's another key learning that we want to focus on. And then the last thing that we've learned, and that it's so important, is technology. ICT can play such a big role. So it can play a big role in the whole country. It can play a big role in the economy. And it starts with our young children. It starts giving them access to information. So what is the difference? It should be all equal. Everybody should have access to the latest information from around the world. And there is not equality at the moment. And I think ICT can bring that equality today. So the youth, critical to the future success of this country, and we all realize it, and we all want to work together and make that possible. So the Vodacom mobile education program that we're launching today is the first step towards bringing all that together. We call it Mobiles for Good. So this program, I must say, if I look back at all the things that we've done, it's probably one of the most ambitious ones that we've launched, because it involves a lot of stuff. It involves the latest technology. One thing is, for the first time ever, we're going to use cloud computing, where we load the educational stuff into a cloud. So we're building a cloud, and with our partners, we're going to load all the good stuff into there. We're going to build 9 ICT resource centers, 1 per province. Then we have a list of 200 schools per province, per ICT resource center. We're going to make sure that they're all connected with high-speed links to this cloud, that they have a good performance. And then, over and above that, we're going to take 20 of the 200 schools per province, and we're going to focus specifically on maths and science. We're going to, in each of those schools, train at least 2 teachers, 2 for maths, 2 for science, and get them up to a level where they can use the technology.
How do we pool our resources, our ability to ensure that every school by 2013 is connected? To me, that would be the greatest gift that you can give to the nation in the 21st century. I am convinced that it's possible because we do not have to build infrastructure. I'm convinced that it's possible because you have the capacity and a vast experience, immense experience in terms of basically reaching out to people out there. I'm convinced because you are able to utilize multiple applications in different environments. And we, from our side, Departments of Education, Communication, Science and Technology, Public Service and Administration, will give you the undertaking that we will work very, very closely with you. So whilst we acknowledge and thank you for what you're doing, and it's quite remarkable, we're saying to you, we put a challenge to you to say, come 2013, we would like to get up here, have all our partners, all our social partners work together and say, look, this we can say proudly, we've given to the nation. 2013, 27,000 schools have been connected. Now, it's not impossible.
And if we can make sure that every child in South Africa has the same privilege that my children has, where they can get access to the wow stuff, not the bad stuff, the wow stuff that is available over the internet. And if we can do it in a managed way, where we can put it into this cloud, and the teachers can get access to the latest high-quality information to prepare their lectures, wouldn't that make a difference? So I really believe we're onto something good. So that's why we're here today. It's a massive task, but we've embraced this program because we believe that this is going to make a difference, not just to Vodacom, not just to the department, not just to our partners. This is going to make a big difference to the country. When we sit back here in 2 years' time and we look at this number, or in 2015, I think we can make the 2015 maybe 2014. Should we try? 2013. Okay, we do that. 2013, all grade 3s must have had exposure to ICT. That is awesome. So this program is about leveling the playing field. You don't just have schools in certain areas of the country that's got the latest textbooks, but through this cloud, we're going to make available the latest technology to all of the schools. So we're starting small, 200 schools per province. Teachers are going to be trained with the technology, but nothing stops us to expand it. There must be I think there's 26,000 schools in the country. Only 3 out of 10, 30% of them have access to any technology today. 10% only of the 26,000 schools have access to internet. It's not good. We have to work together and make a difference. Because if we don't connect them all to the cloud, we're going to leave some of them behind. Can't afford that.